Boom.
And go.
Let's get this bullshit going.
All right. So here we are. Condo Grayskull, episode 46. The time is currently 6:13 p.m. on November 18th, 2014. I'm Michael Davis. With me is Joe Frederick, Michael Picaro, and one Mr. Colin Zemer.
Yes.
How you doing this week, boys?
I am one, Mr.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice, warm, well
Sling blade
lit,
over there.
breezy walls of Condo Grayskull.
Yeah.
So,
And that's how everyone's going to be talking today.
so I thought we would just start, but regular format, just bullshit. Do a little of this, a little of that. How was your weeks, everyone?
Good.
Awesome.
Mine was. It's just starting right off with me.
There we go. We're just saying, if he's going to host, he's going to even do
Yeah,
that.
that was a joke before we started recording. But
Sorry, everyone.
yeah, Joe has given me. He bestoweth upon me the hosting privileges for this evening's
He's
program.
That's the only way I was going to sign off his paycheck.
Buckle in, everyone. It's gonna be a long night.
Yep.
So
I'll
seriously,
be
though,
uploading this one for 3 days.
it's gonna be a 6 gig audio
I'm
file.
going to compress it 9 times. And it still takes so long.
YouTube's just gonna slap
Oh,
you.
man. We got a lot
Try
of
to
movies
upload it.
already. Ferris Bueller. Nice.
So seriously though, this is episode 46, and we could start with our weeks. Who wants to go?
I'll go.
All right, Joe.
I'll probably take the longest.
Speaking of episode 46, though, for some reason I was like, oh, what episode is this when I had headed over here? And I was like, oh, 46. So we did the 44 Magnum, and then we talked about Colt 45, and then it just immediately came to me, 46 and 2? Does that ring anybody's bell?
Sounds like a really hopeless football play.
46 and 2 was a Tool song. You guys
Oh,
remember
yeah.
Tool?
Really?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
I
it was one
remember
of my favorite Tool songs, and it just kind of brought back memories about a fucking time period where I was listening to Tool all day.
Nice.
Yeah.
And driving around fucking blasting Tool.
Yeah,
Well,
that-
speaking of something that brought me
Takes me
back,
to junior high.
yeah, something that brought me back this week was I bought a lot of multimedia this week. One of which was the Halo, the Master Chief Collection.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I've been playing Halo 2 Remastered, and that has brought me back. I mean,
bet,
it was my least favorite Halo, but playing it again, I just was like reliving.
Yeah.
College, one of my first midnight release. I remember just sitting and looking at the internet every day to get just a snippet of any information every single day while that came out.
Oddly enough, that's the only Halo I've ever owned.
Oh, really?
Halo 2, yes.
And I have to admit, they did an amazing job, and I can say that I really, really enjoyed playing it again, though a lot of it could still be improved. I think checkpoints are ridiculous at times. Like,
Yep.
they won't
Yep.
honor checkpoints, so you go way back.
Ooh.
And then there's instant death snipers, which are a pain, but, it's a
This is
challenging,
single-player
awesome
stuff?
Yeah.
So you've
Yeah,
already
see, I don't even think I played the campaign. I love the multiplayer on
Oh,
that.
I mean, I had to get used to the fact that everyone could talk. I did not like the fact that people could like smack talk, because I was just like, it rattled me to the core,
It was
because I was
infuriating.
It was infuriating because I actually started becoming a much better multiplayer player once I turned that off, or it wasn't an option, because I didn't like being rattled like that, because people were such pricks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, got through it playing on Legendary. Started playing 3. It's weird to go back. It's really a blast from the past, but that is a lot of game.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow, I'm amazed that because you were traveling last week and you've already been able to get through, a campaign, which you said was probably, 10 or 12 hours, right?
I mean, I've been playing a Halo a long time, so I can bang out missions really quick. I did spend.
I guess having played it before,
I spent a large portion of Saturday and then Sunday night playing, so that's when I was able to complete it. So, yeah, I got like 1 or 2 levels in and then did the rest on the weekend. But
That's cool.
I was a little possessed. I was like, man, I really want to finish this before the weekend's over. But yeah, I've been playing Middle Earth, the Mordor. I mentioned that before, and then what was the other game?
Do you think that game's headed for Game of the Year?
I think so. I mean, it's really good. I was just reading an article on Kotaku where they were saying it on the 360 and some of these other systems not as good.
Yeah.
But
Well, they don't have the
Nemesis
Nemesis
system.
system at all, right? Which Sounds like a huge component.
Not as good, Mom.
It's tough.
Not
I mean,
as good.
when I'm looking at the Master Chief Collection, that's another one where I'm like, how can this be? It can't be Game of the Year, but at the same time, I'm like, this is incredible.
A lot of game.
It's so much game, and the fact that you have every single multiplayer in there, over 100 levels of multiplayer.
Jeez.
And then on top of it, you can create your own playlist from any of the games, so you can mix levels. So if you're like, I like all the driving levels, you just string those together.
Yeah. I love that. I forgot. I was watching some. It might have been Giant Bomb's quick look at that, but they like you can go into multiplayer and just join, and it'll be like it'll throw you in a Halo 2 or then a Halo 3
you can
or
mix it
original
up.
Halo, and just like without having to put in a different disc or like go through all this shit. It's just one after the other.
I will say the biggest thing that makes it so startling and so great is it's running at 1080 and 60 frames per second. And I guess it cuts down to 30 when you do split screen, but there's just something so insanely amazing playing those games at such a fast ping. It looks so incredible. So it really that's what I would think blew my mind the most. I mean, obviously they redid the graphics for 2 and the cinematics were done by the Blur Studios, incredible. But man,
how are those cinematics must be pretty
stupid.
nuts.
It's stupid. It's so realistic, and all the facial capturing and all that it's nuts.
So they completely redid 2 for this one. They had already redone 1, right, for the anniversary. So was that
3
basically just a port?
For the most part, I think. I mean, I haven't actually turned on that one just because I wanted to go straight to 2.
Okay.
I did play a little bit of 3. I know they added some new lighting effects and some other stuff.
Updated it, right? But it's
a little
not
bit, but it's pretty much the same. I mean, it's starting to. Oh, I probably got I got a text on the computer and it came through. That's when you have everything linked up. Yeah. So I mean that one's starting to show its age, 3, but it still looks beautiful. And then 4 is so new. I don't think they touched it.
So 4 is on there. I didn't realize
so
that.
So I'm sad that they don't have Reach or ODST. I mean, I think ODST is one of the best in the series, even though it's not like their normal format.
Yeah.
And then Reach, I just enjoyed a lot because
we played a lot of ODST multiplayer. I remember.
That was
firefight,
the
right?
firefight stuff. Yeah. So that's been a really really cool experience, and it's just it's just a warm tingly feeling.
Do they tag Bungie in like the credits and everything, or is it just 343?
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Okay, all right. Because it's not a Bungie. I mean, it's Bungie's. They created those games, but that wasn't done by Bungie.
No, I mean
Master Chief
it
Collection.
shows them both. It shows both 343 and that. So.
It's interesting.
But
we don't know who made these games.
They
These first 3
must
they just
profit
came
from
out of
that. They
nowhere.
have to profit from that also, right? Or is it just
no,
is that
because
it's a
they don't-
Microsoft property? I guess
It's a Microsoft property, so they don't get any.
God, that's crazy to think that was their life's work, basically.
Yeah.
What they're known for, right? And like their opus, whatever you want to call it, and it's not theirs.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, that's why Bungie went and did Destiny.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably
Destiny is their new Halo.
they probably got ownership of that. They're probably like, fuck this,
Which to be totally honest, playing through the missions and stuff, like Destiny is nothing compared to Halo in the sense that like level design. I mean, it's beautiful, it's fun, but having tanks and banshees and all this lore like attached to it, it's going to take years for them to even get close to that.
Yeah.
And I think Halo, the first one, they were able to establish such a good foundation that from then on it was just a huge hit. This one, I don't know. We'll see.
Destiny.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I still enjoy it, of course, and I'll still keep playing it, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, flew to New York. Mike did too. Yeah,
I did.
We went to Phillips training, and on the way there, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy again, and then
Nice.
and that was cool. I saw it in the theater, saw it again. I just was like, oh yeah, I forgot this part, and it's great. I really like that movie.
Is that something that's out on like DVD yet,
I
or
think
is it
it
just
might-
like a special?
It was out.
They just get it.
It was out like I think as an exclusive thing for Delta.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Delta when they have so they noticed that when people or stewardesses do like the seatbelt thing and they're funny, people paid more attention.
They got big titties. They pay more.
Well, maybe that too, but if they were funny and like obviously broke the routine, like people listened more. So I think Delta took that and made video. Well, they did. They made videos of all this stuff, like where the flotation devices are, where you exit, and it's all silly. It's ridiculous.
Dude in a clown costume.
Well, no, it's like if you have any questions, you can just ask a little bit later. And it shows all these reporters sitting in. They're like, "Ugh," it's like it's corny as
Wow.
hell. Or she's talking, then all of a sudden the guy behind her has like a huge afro, and then the next scene he doesn't, and like just weird stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
I thought it was interesting because I'm like, oh, I guess that's how they make people know how to
Yeah, I
strap
guess so.
in. But when we got to New York, one of the first things we did was we went and saw the New Year's Ball.
Oh yeah.
You know, and each one of those triangle crystals are $1,000. They're etched crystal,
What?
and each
Yeah.
larger triangle,
Waterford Crystal.
and
Oh,
each
wow.
triangle, bigger triangle, is made up of 16 of those, and there must be like I don't even know how many of those big triangles. It's like
Yeah. What's the
It's-
diameter of
it's
the thing?
huge. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say it's what like maybe 15 feet across.
God.
I think
so
that's a pretty good estimation.
what is it?
yeah.
Fucking $1 million?
Oh, well, at least,
A little
yeah.
bit more than that.
Yeah, it has to be more than that.
God.
And then there's one on there, one crystal that's slightly different. And actually,
Oh jeez.
our buddy Brad
Yeah.
found it.
I've never
like,
paid
right away.
much attention to it. You know.
It's always there,
Just gives
and
you
it
a
just
sense of scale.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. And
That's
it's funny because
cool.
when you take a video, it flashes, and I have it actually on my Instagram. It flashes, but that's actually because of the frame rate of your camera. It's actually picking up that basically the diode strobe
Oh, yeah.
from the naked eye, or when you're there, you know, in front of it, you can't see that.
Can't tell.
But we did that, and then went to Phillips training. That was pretty awesome. Did a really awesome dinner. It was a lot of fun. Mike went out. I mean, he'll tell his side of the story, but Mike went out and did some sightseeing. And on the way back, and this will end my week, but on the way back, movies were free.
Which was awesome.
It was.
Yeah,
So I
that's
saw the second Planet of the Apes. I don't know if it's Dawn or Rise, which was awesome. I really enjoyed that. Then I saw Lucy, which I was like, what the fuck is this? It was so weird. I know you
Yeah.
mentioned
Did you
it.
get through the whole movie?
I did. It's entertaining, but at the same time, it's entertaining because like you're just like trying to wrap your mind around like why they went this direction. A lot of explaining.
And the end, yeah, it doesn't really do much.
She turns into like oh, I don't even want to ruin
Yeah.
it, but yeah, it's just like
Is she super smoking hot through the movie?
I mean, she is, but one thing I really didn't like was like she turns into this very robotic type personality because she knows so much that it really took away from the potential acting. Like it wasn't her standing in front of this glorious thing. It was like her already being this like super smart person, and I am a robot and I see everything, and I'm just like
it's
why?
obnoxious.
A little bit. I was like, man, this really like takes away the range that you could potentially do with this idea. You know, and I feel like my personal feeling is if you go back to the old Akira, when you know, have you seen the original anime Akira?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I mean, where this guy's kind of getting to critical mass when it comes to his powers. Like that was an intriguing and crazy feeling, but she went more the positive, good route, and it makes for
Oh,
an
yeah.
okay movie.
Tetsuo, right? Was
Yeah.
the one that was like.
And he can't control it, and he's
Yeah.
killing people, and it's just like it's completely taken over his mind,
Right.
and it's dark, and
Yeah.
and I mean it's really gripping because of that.
They were
And-
actually talking about it in the Bombcast, the newest one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dan, I guess I'd never seen it, and he was talking about it.
It's great. So
Akira.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So this is how many movies I saw. So that was number 2. So number 3, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch Edge of Tomorrow again because obviously, you know, I love Tom Cruise. I was like,
Yes.
you know, I'll watch that again. It was tough though because then I'm looking over and I see my supervisor Bobby watching Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that though. And I was like, God, I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. And then I was like, forget it. I'll just watch the rest of Edge of Tomorrow. And then I started 22 Jump Street and stopped it pretty quick. Not only because we were landing, but Lauren wanted to see it. I'm like, oh, that would be a dick move. So it's been a lot of multimedia.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, and then Friday I saw Fury.
Oh,
And
wow.
Nice.
I'm mostly catching up to Colin. I feel like that's basically what I'm doing. Lauren and I went with a couple friends, and like I said, I was telling you guys, like, I was surprised she wanted to go see that. I mean, Lauren is not the type to be like, let's go watch a war movie.
Yeah.
No, she likes action movies. She likes guy movies, but there's a certain threshold she won't pass. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'll watch
This is
Guardians of the
definitely past that
Galaxy. I'll watch
threshold.
Avengers. I'll watch maybe like a Matrix or an action movie. Sure. But when it's this very realistic, gory, faces getting blown off, you know, kids getting killed type movie, yeah, no. So there was a
Yeah.
point where I look over at her, I'm noticing she's kind of uncomfortable and not really having a good time, and then she pulls my phone out of my pocket, clicks the button, looks at the time, and goes, "Shit," and then puts it back in my
We
pocket.
still have
I'm like,
2 hours to go.
I know, and I was like, "You're not liking this movie." She's like, "Nope." So
Not a
Okay,
shorter
let me ask you a
movie,
question.
too.
Does that ruin your experience
it
when
does,
you're like, oh god, the person I'm with, the person I love, is not enjoying this?
of course, there's a certain part of me that's
No,
like,
I wasn't there.
and that's what got me through it. I'm
I
like,
know.
well, at
I am
least
motioning towards you.
Lauren was there.
I'm like, at least Mike's not ruining, and like this
The
isn't.
person that I love is not here with me, so
I'll have to just deal with Lauren.
Goodbye, my love.
I mean, that was another tough thing. I ran into actually some old employees, Bama and Becca, as they were going to Dumb and Dumber 2. And I was like, man,
Oh, jeez.
that would have been awesome. But I was excited for Fury. I had no issues with that. So, I mean,
by
yes.
the trailers, I didn't realize that was going to be super gory or anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expect. I mean, it's World War II, so I expect some stuff.
It's so intense because it's near the end of the war, if not the end. And they have gone through so much battle that they are just like, all of them are nuts and coping in their own ways.
Yeah.
And that's what's really interesting about it. You know, they're just
Yeah.
like, they're just...
I want to see that.
Oh,
My wife wants to see it, so that's actually good advice
No,
because
I just-
especially in the theater, like I don't know if.
So I'll say this: I enjoyed the movie, but yes, when you look over and someone's not having a good time,
Yeah.
you're like, I wish this turned out different.
I would suggest trying to see it in theater, though. if
I know.
you're
I'd love
interested
to.
see
I
it,
mean, she
'cause,
says she wants to, so I don't know.
just the
It's
sound and everything.
I mean,
like that.
she's not super squeamish, but she watches The Walking Dead basically looking at her phone.
Yeah.
Like she watches it kind of like indirectly. That's how she but she loves watching it and
Yeah.
watching stuff like that. But she watches it more indirectly, like
Listens.
listens and does other things.
does she point her phone towards a mirror and then watches the mirror watching her phone? That kind of indirect.
I mean, almost.
Then she sees a man in orange.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
I have to admit, I saw that Sarah changed her profile picture, and it shows your little daughter looking into the bassinet or whatever. And then I was like, I sent it over to Mike Davis, and I'm like, is there any way you can Photoshop this with an orange man in the background? Because it was so perfect.
God.
He's like, I could do that. And it was a joke. I didn't want him to, but I was like, that would be really intense. Because it's so scary. It's the two kids, the bassinet. I'm like, all we need is that goddamn ghost.
Just popping out in the background.
But yeah, anyways, it was more of a joke.
Well, you know what? No, of course. I was just gonna say, like, I had a really bad experience going to the movies with a girl. I was just dating this girl, and she was just a little bit nutso. But I found out later. But we went and we saw Rules of Engagement.
Okay.
This
Nice.
is like in early 2000s probably or something, and I think it was Sam Jackson and something. But like I'm watching the movie and it's like Vietnam, I think, in the beginning or something, and it's just like super like intense, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome, And I look over, and she is just like
Oh,
as
God.
animated as possible, like like I couldn't
What?
believe the way this chick was acting. I was like, I was so turned off
Had to have been a
immediately. I'm
huge
like,
turn off, yeah.
it was totally turned off because it was just like so over the top
What happens
animated.
if she
I'm
started screaming and just
I'm like,
ran out of the
I
theater?
was like, I tried to be comforting, but I'm like, in my head, and to myself, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong
yeah,
with this
is it
girl?
worth the energy?
And
Suck it
yeah,
up.
and I'm like, I was like, oh, well, maybe she had a relative that was killed in war or something. I'm like, so I asked her, I'm like, was an uncle or somebody were they killed in action? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, do you want to go? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, fuck, all right, let's go. And we left. And I
Wait,
was
did you
like-
start getting up, and as she left, you just went and sat back down?
in the dark theater?
Psych.
I'm like, I fucking ran to another
and,
seat.
and then you locked the theater door when she left?
Do you want to leave?
Kick
All
her
right,
out of
then
the
get fuck
fire
outta here.
exit. Like, let's leave this through the fire exit. Fucking kick her through and then shut the door. No, but that was just, obviously Lauren is not, to that, not going to do
No.
that. But,
Yeah.
that was a really bad experience I had. And obviously that ruined it for other reasons.
Yeah.
There, like I've mentioned before, there are a few things that have made her. I mean, if we're out watching a movie, unless it's pretty hardcore, I couldn't imagine her saying like, "I need to leave." But I've been home and seen a few things. She's like, "Nope," and we'll walk out. And
Well, that's
it's-
much easier to do, obviously.
Yeah, so I think it's just accessibility and
Yeah.
it
Some Requiem for a Dream or something.
Oh.
Yeah, she wouldn't handle that one. And that's so funny you said that because I actually just mentioned that movie today in the quotes department because someone mentioned one movie that was pretty hardcore, and I was like, oh man, it sounds like Requiem of a Dream. And she's like, I haven't seen it, and I'm like, ooh.
Don't watch it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't
that's-
unsee that
I'm
movie.
like, yeah,
You
I'm like,
can't
that's one of those
forget
things
that
where it's like
movie.
it's important to see maybe, but at the same time, you will never want to see it again.
Never.
Yeah, it's so gross.
Yeah, I've tried to go back to that. I'm like, because I remember, I was in a time of my life where I was like, oh yeah, this is so
You're
cool.
doing a bunch of
you know?
heroin?
And
Yeah, I was
it's just-
thinking back about it, and I was like, okay, here's the deal. Like, here's the 4 things that happen. Like, the girl is now having sex for drugs.
Yep.
The mom dies.
Yep.
The one guy is shooting.
Well, does she
drugs.
die?
Yeah. She's like going crazy, and she dies.
I don't remember her dying.
I mean, I think it's insinuated, right?
Oh, okay,
I thought
maybe,
it was.
yeah.
Then the one guy is shooting up in his like totally infected arm, right?
Yeah.
And does he lose it?
He does.
Yeah,
he
I
loses
guess
his
it's
arm.
amputated.
Yeah.
And then what happens to the black guy? Is
He
it the
ends
black?
up in prison.
He's in prison.
Yeah.
Is that Marlon Wayans?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, one of the Waynes, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
one
that's
of the
Marlon. I'm so bad
47
with
of them, yeah.
first names when it comes to them. So, anyways, yeah, hardcore, man.
Yeah, really.
But, anyways,
Not the lighthearted fest that Trainspotting is.
no, Train Spotting. Wow, that's so fun too.
But
Yeah.
That one's horrible.
Trainspotting's a little lighter. There's more.
It's still
comedic
horrible.
relief.
it's
Oh,
that's
no, you
darker in a different way. Like it's more just like the isolation. I feel
Yeah.
like, right?
Yeah.
Like this. This is how alone you're gonna
Well,
feel.
the baby dying was
Yeah.
not.
Oh,
cool.
that's right.
That was
That's
pretty hardcore.
fucking right.
Yeah.
No, I remember what movie brought this all up. It was Kids. They were talking about kids. That
I've
those
never
punk
seen that.
rockers.
I haven't seen that.
It's
one.
been a long time, but yeah, it was not. It was one of those movies where you just
Isn't there a scene in that movie where there's a guy like on a skateboard? He's got no legs, and he's like, "I have no legs," and he's like singing like about how he has no legs
I mean,
down the subway or something. It's like, are they in New York?
well, I know that. I forgot the name of this movie, but Eddie Murphy does that.
No,
And
I
do you know what I'm talking about? Eddie Murphy, where he's like he's like at Wall Street, and he's like I got no legs, and he's you know remember that one?
God,
The movie?
I've been.
Yeah.
Trading Places?
You guys have all
I
been
think
losing
that
me.
was it. Yeah.
I don't remember him doing that. I have seen that a couple times with
Trading
Dan Aykroyd.
Places.
Yeah, with Dan Aykroyd, he's the Wall Street guy, and they trade places.
Yeah.
I guess that was Eddie Murphy, wasn't it?
yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, that's a great film
Was I
actually.
thinking of Brewster's
And
Millions,
if-
maybe?
Oh God, yeah.
Richard
That was
Pryor.
such a crazy
Pryor.
one.
Yeah.
He had to spend every dollar, right?
Yeah.
And he couldn't
That's
go
a
a dollar
great-
over, dollar under. He couldn't donate it.
Couldn't give it away. Couldn't. Yeah. He.
He
That's
had
such a
to
great
spend
film.
it. Yeah. And then also, what was the other
And
one?
a younger John Candy in Brewster's Millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a fun one. Mm-hmm. That was a fun one. What was the one where there was like one blind and he was blind and the other guy was deaf?
That was See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and I think that was Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder.
Dang. Good job.
Yeah. Because that
Yeah,
was an
I've
awesome
never
one. That was
heard of that.
hilarious. Oh, you got to see it. It's. I
Yeah,
mean,
he-
you obviously that's your wheelhouse. Is
Gene-
that time period, you know.
Gene Wilder is deaf, and Richard Pryor's blind.
And it
and,
is. It is funny.
Well, they did a lot of movies together.
Yeah.
They did Silver Streak, and
They were good together.
they're a good duo.
Gene Wilder, man, that guy was nuts.
Willy
Yeah.
Wonka.
Willy Wonka and then
Yep.
Young Frankenstein. I thought he was so
Oh my
funny in that
God.
one.
I've
Yeah.
never seen that one.
Oh,
That's
God.
Mel Brooks,
Wow.
though. Mel
Michael,
Brooks.
yeah.
You would,
Oh God, Young Frankenstein.
dude.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
say
That's a good one.
One of my favorite scenes in that
That's what I've
was
heard.
one of my favorite scenes was where he's like, "Okay, listen, he's gonna go into this room with this monster he made, right?" And he's like, "Whatever you do, don't let me out of this room, no matter what I say.
What?
Keep that door locked, right?" So then it shows him walk in, the door slams, and you hear a little bit, and he's like, "Open the door. Open the door. Get me the hell out of here!" And it's just it's Gene just going nuts, which he's like he has, you know how he is, like
Yeah.
he just gets so flared up, and you just see the guy at this like struggle, like it's the girl, right?
Yeah.
Struggling,
Yeah.
like, should I open this door? She finally does, but it just how his acting in that was really good.
That's funny.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
that's really good. Well, what about you guys?
Well, I got a short one. I'll go.
All right, go, Colin.
There you go. Yeah, retaking the wheel. All right, well then you go.
Yes, please.
I've made that
And
decision.
we're back.
Thanks for
And
leading me
we're
there.
back.
Yes, of course.
I've started watching this new anime. I think it was suggested on one of those Kotaku articles called Aldnoah Zero. It's I guess what it is humans left Earth, landed on the moon, and discovered a gateway that can instantly take them to Mars or whatever.
Sounds plausible.
And the
Sounds
Mars,
like the Traveler.
Yeah, it sounds like almost Interstellar. Yeah.
Yep.
and so they encounter Martians who I think are also on the moon as well, and this whole war ensues. And they have, I'm only a few episodes in, but they have this power. The Martians do. I think it's called All Noah is like the power, and they use it to power these like mechs that are like super, powerful, like can take on whole armies, indestructible for all intents and purposes or whatever. And it follows these humans that are basically fighting these mechs off one by one, and using like cunning tactics and everything like that. It's this kid who's like fresh out of school because you have to get trained in school to handle these mechs. And the humans have mechs that are like shit. They're like, you could throw 20 of them at one of these Martian mechs and they can't do anything.
Wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, but this kid is like a prodigy essentially. He's just had a little bit of training, no combat experience, but he gets thrown into combat with one of them and he figures out the weakness and destroys it. So it's kind of them going through. It's not it's a decent anime.
The title sounds like what usually the answer is when I ask anything in Chinatown. I don't know a zero. I don't know a zero. Hey, where's the Panda Express? I don't know a zero. All right.
Okay.
Good, yeah, good. Definitely go down to Chinatown. Like, hey, where's the fucking Panda Express?
Yeah,
I don't know a zero.
better than Panda. Got
Yeah.
better than Panda over
I
here.
wouldn't be asking for Panda out there, but then again, enough beers.
I've also still watching a little bit of Salem.
Okay.
And then playing games. I really wasn't playing much after the move, but I did pick up and start playing F1 again.
Nice.
Cool.
I kind of like go in spurts. I'll do like 3 races in a few days, and they're long races. They take like hour and a half, 2 hours.
Damn.
And then
That's a commitment.
And then
Yeah,
I won't
wow.
then I won't play it again for like a month.
Yeah.
So
But then again, what am I saying? I played Halo 2 like 6 hours straight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. Yeah. I guess one level could take on some of these
On
maps.
Legendary, it was pretty stupid at times, but yeah, I got through it like 20, 30 minutes. But
So yeah, playing that, I did pretty well. I think I got 4th, 1st, and 1st.
Nice.
So still leading the championship. This is the furthest I've made it into a season. I'm like 12 races in.
I'd be so
No.
irritated
So
if
you
I
never-
didn't get first.
Yep.
After all that time, I'm like, fuck!
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is frustrating, but then again, it's like if I'm getting first every time, then it's probably not a challenge. you
No,
know,
for
so-
sure. For sure.
I mean, I'm still getting first probably more than I should, but
Because you're
whatever.
reloading and stuff, probably, right?
Yeah, I do save. Like if there's like a fucking catastrophic accident, I'll reload. So-
Yeah.
What a
Because that
cheater.
kind of blows. Well, I mean, that
No,
kind
of course.
blows.
That goes with what I was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
fucking get an hour in and then fucking break too late and crash into the wall and be like, oh, race over. And I'm like, all right, well, I didn't need that hour anyway.
Have you ever
That's-
completed a season? You've never completed a season?
No, I haven't.
Okay, how many
this
races?
is the second F1 game I've owned and I haven't. I think there's 19. So I think
Okay.
yeah, 18 or 19.
2/3 of the way through.
Yeah, so I've got like 5 or 6. I've just selected a rival. I guess you choose like a rival and you have to either beat him in the season or beat him over the final 6 races. And then that team gives you a contract offer to join them. So I chose one of the Ferrari drivers because I wanted to join Ferrari.
Of
after
course.
the end of the team. Yeah, after the end of the season. So we'll see how that goes. Although a few of these races are tracks I have not raced on before, and they're pretty complex tracks. There's
really?
a lot of slow speed, off camber, awkward turns. And the next race is Singapore, which is like a street track. A lot of low speed turns, and it's supposed to rain on race day too.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Interesting.
I am not very good in heavy rain. I do not do well, so that's probably going to be a throwaway race.
Shit.
Yeah,
Are you good in chubby rain?
chubby rain.
Yeah.
Remember
that was
little-
Bowfinger, I think, right?
yeah.
That's a great one.
I do not know that reference. No,
Did you see Bowfinger?
I did not.
Oh,
No,
go
so-
see that.
It's hilarious.
It's really good.
All right, I'll see you later.
Another
Yeah, see,
see ya,
your
Colin.
headset,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
another Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy
Yeah.
and Steve Martin.
And Steve Martin.
God, my buddy loves Eddie Murphy. Everything Eddie Murphy. I'm like, I can handle his '80s stuff. I think once we Once we get out of the
Yeah.
80s,
He has some
kinda-
good stuff. I mean, like, I felt like he did good in Nutty Professor.
Yeah, no,
Oh
the
god, Nutty
Professor-
Professor is awesome.
I thought that was good. And then that Bowfinger I thought was good. I think that was the 90s. That was for sure 90s.
Yeah,
If
okay,
not
maybe
early
later
2000s.
90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
I think is when he really.
Okay, I'll
starts to
tell you,
lose it.
he did a recent one that I was, threw away and I would never see in the theater and didn't think much of it, but I ended up seeing it. I thought it was actually really funny. It was, I don't remember the name of it, but it's basically.
He runs a daycare.
There's a tree in his
Oh,
backyard.
yeah. And he can't talk because every time he talks, leaves come up?
When he talks, leaves fall off, and as it starts getting pretty bare on the tree, like he just stops talking because he feels like he's gonna die or he's just gonna lose his voice completely. He's like an actor or an agent or something. I don't know, some like
wasn't he a lawyer and he can't-
profile
maybe
Hollywood
not.
type.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, pretty funny. He's a pretty good I forget the word that I'm thinking of, but like very boisterous. He's
1,000
very
words.
animated. 1,000 words, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I guess.
I don't even know that I've heard of that one.
Oh, really?
What year did that come out, Joe?
2000,
3 years ago?
2012.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, too.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, was he good in Tower Heist? I saw a little bit, but I thought it was pretty funny,
I didn't
right?
see that
I
one.
didn't. I only saw parts of it. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, imagine that. Meet Dave. Like, that stuff was weird.
Oh, I never saw any of that stuff.
Or
Clumps.
Norbit.
movies.
I didn't know that one.
What
Dream Girls.
What about the one where he was he was that space superhero? What was that one?
Oh God.
That's Meet Dave, right?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No. The Adventures of what was shit. The Adventures
Oh, a
of
children's movie, I guess.
is it in there? It's got to
I'm
be
looking-
in there.
I'm looking now.
You're on his IMDb page?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's the
Pluto Nash?
Pluto Nash.
The Adventures
Thank
of
you.
Pluto
The
Nash.
Adventures of Pluto Nash.
How was that?
I never saw it.
Oh, okay.
That's a good example of like
Yeah,
what
but
Holland's
I'm
talking
talking
about.
a lot of missable ones.
Tossing that
Yeah,
out.
sorry to hijack your.
No.
Such an asshole.
Can you get this thing under control, Mike?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the
Ring
reins.
Rein this
here,
back
yeah.
in.
Other than that, I started playing a little bit of Rome. I was talking to Mike about that again, trying to pick that up because
God, that sounds in depth.
they
man.
changed. Yeah, they changed a lot of stuff since I first started playing.
What is
Rome.
it?
Now
Total War,
Rome,
right?
Rome
Rome
Total.
2 Total War. Yeah,
Did you call it Romo?
Rome.
Oh, I
Tony
thought you said-
Romo, total
That's
cowboy
what I thought
war.
I heard the first time, and I was like, "What is this game?"
Football branded.
Started playing Romo.
Yeah.
No, they've like updated a lot of stuff and added stuff. It's officially now like the Emperor edition, so it's got a lot more stuff to it. So I started doing the tutorials again and wanted to start a new campaign. But that's just one of those games like you either get into it or you don't. There's no like sitting down.
It's like a tech demo
15
game for
minutes.
me. Like, I just want to look at it.
Oh,
wouldn't,
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I'd
it's
be like,
fucking- yeah,
I don't
I
know.
remember the
gorgeous.
first time you got that, and I came by and you showed me some of it. And I'm like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
this is stupid."
Is it RTS?
It's turn based and RTS.
Wow.
But when you see
It's
them line up,
RTTS.
and they're just shooting, and you see each individual guy like dying, and there's just like thousands. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, "Oh god, what is this?"
I'm going to go get some cereal. I'll be
There's
back.
cannons, right? Cannons
Yeah.
like blow through people.
Well, I mean that might have been
Some
Shogun.
Captain Crunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, Shogun. Shogun was really fun. That's probably one of the higher rated ones recently because they kind of missed with Empire and Napoleon. There were a lot of bugs and shit with that. But Shogun was awesome because they also added. They had like the 1600s, which was like the original game, like in Japan. But then they later added like the fall, like 1800s. So like foreign influences and guns and cannons made its way in, but then they also added one that took place in like the 1100s, a campaign that was like the beginning of like the shogunate and everything like that. So it's
Interesting.
Who
Yeah,
is
like-
who's the developer
like,
for this?
God,
And with what frequency have these releases been coming out? Like, do they do one and then are they like Blizzard, where they'll do one and then they spend another 4 years in development for the next one? And
yeah, it
Blizzard takes
depends.
way longer
I mean,
than
it
that.
sounds
But yeah.
Yeah.
just as a loose example.
No, they're definitely not Blizzard length. It's probably
2 years, maybe every two, three.
3. Yeah, about I would say about that range.
Okay.
They used to be more spaced out, but I think they've kind of started.
Are they
producing
EA
more often.
games?
spaced out.
It is. It's 2K games.
Oh,
Or Sega actually.
Yeah,
Sega!
2K does. They do the Civ games, right? Civilization.
2K does do the Civ games.
It says the Creative Assembly.
Creative
and-
Assembly, yes.
And then Feral Interactive for Mac OS X.
Yeah. So yeah, Creative Assembly. They've been doing.
So it went from Activision to Sega, and then the publisher for Mac was Feral.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I did. I went to my buddy, his son's first birthday party.
Wow.
It was on Sunday.
His
So-
1 year old.
Yes.
First birthday. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was actually
He's
pretty,
5. He had his first party.
Yeah.
It could be that.
They
Hey, you know
they
what?
finally
Maybe they just didn't
saved
have
up the
enough
money.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
they,
what,
they celebrate the milestones, not every single
They
one.
lost him in the woods.
Was, yeah,
Found him again.
You've come back finally.
Celebrating mediocrity at that point.
That was a lot of fun though. We
Howl out your candles.
Yeah.
we spent like an hour and a half the night before making like 120 jalapeno poppers
Oh,
for
shit.
the party.
Dang.
Oh, dang.
Dang.
And then no one likes spicy food?
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
No,
shit.
I'm surprised. He's like 2 for every person. There's supposed to be 60 people. 2 for. I was like, I don't think everybody's gonna eat a jalapeno popper.
Did he rent a toilet?
This was at a house. So
We're
there
gonna
were
need some extra
toilets.
bathrooms in this
Yeah.
bitch.
There's all these splash guards all over it.
Matches in every bathroom.
It was nice because I mean, his drama with his baby mama shit.
Did it go down?
They got along for the whole party for the most
Damn.
part.
They brought it. They held it together for the little one.
Yeah, and it was nice because a lot of his friends showed up, like our friends.
So they were ready to beat her up, right?
No, there were we were the majority. Like it was at her house.
Oh, wow,
But,
okay.
we were the dominant force there. Like we showed up in force to support him.
Nice.
All these Harleys parked out front.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the Sharks and the Jets.
300 beers later.
Everyone.
Just like some,
that's
like
just one
Santa
guy.
Fe.
And that's just the leader. 300
What's the,
beers
it's a
deep.
little? What's the little boy? Chase.
Chase, yes,
I never forget that for some reason.
Chase, little Chase. His-
Where do you bank?
Wells Fargo.
Oh, well, that doesn't make sense then.
Yeah. Other than that, I think that about does it for my,
cool.
my
Nice.
week.
Nice.
Cool, man.
All right,
Sounds
well,
good.
go back
Pretty
to
mellow
sleep
for
now.
the most part. Yeah.
Mikey, what about you?
I had myself a great old week.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
do
How many?
tell.
I will.
How many is this in a row now? Because I feel like the last.
It's a grand old week.
Well, the first week I had a good week. Second week was shitty. So this is like 44 in a row.
Wow.
I think.
So you've been copying me and my weeks then, because all my weeks are good too.
Yeah. No,
Stop looking at my weeks.
that's what I'm doing. That's
Weak
my
copier.
shtick.
all right. That's cool.
cool.
Hey, if
Put
that's
your weeks
thing.
back in your pants, then.
All right. Yeah. No. Well, my wife had a birthday, which is cool.
Happy
Birth
birthday
again?
to your
No,
wife.
okay.
Yeah.
What is she? 28 now?
She's 33.
Dang. Doesn't look.
She's
a day.
getting up there.
No, I text your wife. I said, yeah.
Man.
I text your wife. I said,
She doesn't listen to this, right?
No, God, no.
I told her happy
Horrible
birthday.
of
Lauren,
her.
Lauren reminded me again, like, hey, make sure to text her. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I text her, and then we were looking stuff up on my computer, and like earlier, the text came up. You're so sweet. Thank you so much.
She's like,
right?
thanks. Who is this?
And then Lauren's like, that bitch didn't text me back. She said that jokingly, walked over. She's like, no, we're cool. She texted me back. And I laughed so hard, but it was just like how she did it was just so cartoony.
That's funny as
Oh,
hell.
what is this? That is it.
Oh, hell no, she didn't.
But she totally did.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, it was so funny.
You're gonna text her again. Never mind.
Yeah,
Fuck your birthday.
Try to recall that last
Yeah,
text.
exactly.
Unsend.
It's just a picture of her like middle finger up. Snarl.
So yeah, no, that was cool. And then along with that, my mother agreed to watch the kids for the afternoon on Saturday.
Brown chicken. Brown
Thank you
cow.
so much, Grandma. Thank you. Watch the grandbabies. Thank you for the afternoon. I
Nice.
appreciate that. I'm saying that
Is that
facetiously.
sarcastic?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
very sarcastic.
sarcastic?
Because like you should want these fucking kids all the time. These are your grandkids. Damn it.
Okay, I
is
thought
this,
anyways.
which side is this?
This is my mom.
Oh, okay.
This is my mom. The grandmas suck. They are so fucking lazy, and to drag them out and watch these kids once every fucking 3 months is like, oh, what time you need me there? Oh, okay, all right. What time was it again? Like the next day, like to fucking check the time of that they need to be off their asses for like 6 days straight.
Jeez.
That's but that's fine. Anyway, so we went out to.
They're so cute though. Like
That's
I'm so
mom.
surprised.
I know. I don't know what their deal is. They're lazy.
They should
and-
watch
they're
the
lazy and
shit out of
old.
them.
It's a
God
mixture.
damn it.
Yeah, it's a mixture of Alzheimer's
Oh, that's
Thank God that's not the
Gout.
case, but yeah, gout. Wow.
You know, busted hips.
Is this what they're telling you?
No,
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh, I just
gout.
had my other hip replaced.
Man, I'm just getting over my cancer, so take it easy.
So we went to a nice lunch, and we went to. Has anybody been to Blue Dog Beer Tavern?
I have not.
It's on Sepulveda and Ventura,
Oh, okay.
and they have a nice little establishment there. It's cool. They make like gourmet-ish burgers, and they
I
got
like how you
lots-
DJ'd there when you said that.
and some nice beers on tap. I got myself a burger with pulled pork on it.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I was like, I saw it there, and I'm like, fuck.
So wait,
I've heard so much about this.
It's the regular beef patty.
Yeah,
Special
And
sauce,
then-
lettuce, cheese.
and then you slap some more meat on there.
Oh hell
All the
yeah!
pickles.
From,
Yeah.
from a completely different animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I want a cow and a pig right now on a burger.
On
I
my
used to
burger.
go to this place, the Hat.
Betwixt two slices.
The Hat and Simi used to have a pastrami burger, which was a double burger at times, and then pastrami on
Okay.
top. So
Well, I
I
mean,
believe that's the same animal, but still kind of interesting.
I think it is. And I've seen these Carl's Jr. commercials, and I'm like, that is disgusting. But now I've been, they've eased my mind up on the idea of this.
Yeah.
Just seeing it all the fucking time.
Now I'm curious, Michael. In going to this place, I'm sure you were happy with the quality of the burger. Right?
Oh, I've been
It's got
there
the pulled
before.
pork on- Oh, you have.
So
All right,
I'm
okay.
like, I'm happy to experiment with anything they have.
Was
okay.
the whole burger shoved up a turkey's ass?
Yeah.
Well, that
the burduck.
Burduckin.
Burduckin.
Yes.
Burduckin. Well, that last statement you made actually leads me into my question of is if at some time you walked into the restaurant, opened the menu, and it was the substitute burger where it was the meat and everything, but then the buns themselves were replaced by just more meat patties.
Spam patties.
Would you?
Chicken breasts.
Yeah, doesn't
Would you order
KFC have a
They have
their
their
stacker. or
They're
what?
double down.
Oh, double
It's just
down.
Two,
God, I forgot about
two
that.
fried breasts and then
Fried
bacon
breasts
in the middle.
as the
Bacon and cheese.
buns.
I did see on the menu that they're like
That's the protein style, right?
yeah, it's exactly protein style. Like at In-N-Out, they just replace it with
well,
lettuce.
protein, yeah, they wrap it in lettuce.
And at this
No,
place,
fuck
I
that,
did
wrap it in
notice on the
chicken.
menu they have like
shits.
Lucy's style or something that's like wrapped in like lettuce or whatever. But yeah, no, I don't think I could go that far.
Just wrapped in.
But it was good.
Chicken
It was
skin.
good. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of meat you're getting right there in one
Yeah.
every
Deep-fried.
bite.
that's a lot of protein.
But that's I love pulled pork, so I was like,
Yeah.
let me fucking try this.
Were you happy about your decision?
You know what? I not
I
necessarily.
was
Not
until a
necessarily.
couple hours later.
I wasn't. I thought their pulled pork was not the best, and
Okay,
it was
yeah.
also a little, which I'm assuming was intentional. It was like kind of like charred. So
Oh, yeah, that's
almost
very-
maybe like
yeah.
a blackened kind of like style. I don't know, but I was like, okay, that's still good.
Well, blackened would be like peppercorn. I think they honestly sear it a little. I've seen that quite a bit, where they actually burn it just a little bit.
Yeah, it must be. I don't think that they just fucked it up that much and actually served it to me. I don't think they would do that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't the biggest fan.
Hey,
Like,
give it,
oh,
give it-
well,
too
you
bad.
don't
Give
know.
it to that guy at table 5. He's
they
an
had
asshole.
I also enjoyed a triple IPA, which I don't remember ever having a triple.
That's
I-
because
Lots of
they're
doubles?
that's because they're really alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was only 10%, which is high for
That's
a beer.
extremely
That's
high. Yeah.
really
No, totally. But I mean, I've had doubles that were like 9 and 10.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, well, it was really smooth.
Just a marketing
Like a lot of the
scheme.
doubles and now this triple that
Was
I've
it
had, it's like really
yay,
fucking
yay big, like at a shot.
yeah,
shot glass
yeah.
size?
It was it was like in like a Chimay kind of style glass, like
sure.
goblet esque.
right
For
for hobbits.
Yeah, and it was probably like $15, you
Yeah.
know. But I was like, okay, let's do it.
Sure.
No, it was really good though.
Head off into the
really
Misty
super. It was
Mountains.
called Green Bullet.
Okay.
So if you see Green Bullet, it's a go. Go
There's
for
one
it.
called Green Flash that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
well, they make Green Bullet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is their triple.
So the funny thing about this is my buddy Brad just sent me a link to the world's strongest beers. So check this out. There's one called Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA.
Yep.
We know this one.
Had
You
that
see-
one.
you like Dogfish Head.
I love it.
Well, this one I don't know if you love.
I've
Dogfish, yes.
I've
but
had 120-minute on several occasions.
it's 20%.
yes.
Wow. Fuck.
And so that's only $7 a bottle, not too bad. Next up is Sam Adams' Utopias, which is 27%.
What?
$150 a bottle.
27% alcohol.
Hold on, that's
per volume.
By
is
volume.
This is number 2. There's 5.
Dogfish Head is the lowest?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Sink the Bismarck. All right, that's BrewDog. It's a location Scotland. ABV 41%.
Jesus.
$100 a bottle.
Captain Morgan is only 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nuts.
Scoresbach Brewery, Scoresbrau, Germany. 43%. $155 a bottle.
Tastes like ram's piss.
The next one is called End of History. BrewDog, Scotland. 55%. $760 a bottle.
Holy shit!
How do they get that
And
much
now,
alcohol out of beer?
This one they believe
I don't even know.
they actually added whiskey in order to beat End of History, and this one is called Start the Future. So I saw that
Wow.
they did that on purpose. This is a Holland beer, 60%, $45 a bottle.
Fucking A.
Wow.
Wow. I wonder what that.
So
it's gotta
currently the
taste like
world's strongest
shit.
beer, after taking the title from the aforementioned End of History, Start the Future, not surprisingly, has to be sipped cautiously at 120 proof. It may burn off your larynx. You're talking about absinthe levels here. We'll never confirm. Rumors have swirled that Coal Ship, or whatever they're called, I don't know how to pronounce it, added whiskey to this jet engine fuel to take the title away from BrewDog.
Wow.
Damn.
So
Crazy.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna get some of that.
yeah, I mean, the crazy part is I feel like, I don't mean to take over, but when you drink a couple bombers of like 10% or 9% or 8% beers, like, it's a different kind of buzz. It's
Yeah.
a heavy buzz.
pretty heavy.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. Like, you know, pound 50 Coors Lights on like Sundays, it's nothing like those. Like having
Right.
two bombers, you're just like, woo. So
Yeah.
that's cool. So
No, it was.
I don't
It
know.
was
I
really
drank
cool.
50
I would
Coors
definitely.
Lights once. That was a different kind of.
well, you got
I did have two of those, and
Wow.
and then I was like, and we're gonna go see a movie. We saw Dumb and Dumber 2.
You didn't sleep through the movie, obviously.
No. Thankfully, it was
But he
a
was Dumb and
high
Dumber.
energy comedy, so I was able to. I was worried that I was gonna have to like piss like 10 times, which I just kind of
Don't break
waited it
the
out
seal.
and took a couple
Yeah.
pisses. No, I took a couple pisses before
did you?
I tried to
Okay.
Brought his
get it out of the way.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
that's
Smart
my
move.
And I'm happy to report that Dumb and Dumber 2 is fucking awesome. Was hilarious.
I was listening to NPR on the way to work this morning, and they had their entertainment correspondent on, and she was giving her little, her updates and everything. And she had said that it made, I think it's in its opening weekend, something like $38 million or something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
that's right.
And so they did this whole quick little insight into the fact that the first Dumb and Dumber came out in 1994, and that now that they've
20-year anniversary.
they've redone it for the anniversary, and while people had other options to go see, smarter movies like Interstellar or maybe an action movie or something like that, people. You speak with the almighty dollar, and that's the kind of entertainment they wanted. And they said there's a market for that. And it's just
Oh well, I mean,
That's a
it's
fucking
weird
classic.
ass.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a classic.
it's
yeah, I mean-
genius comedy.
sure,
I mean, it's,
sure. But I think there's also the chance that it was 20 years ago, so obviously both actors reprising their roles are going to be 20 years older, and so at what point does it become like geriatrics instead of slapstick comedy? For as an example, Harrison Ford in the fourth installment of the Raiders
Okay, I mean,
of the Indiana
that's fair.
Jones series. He that poor guy.
Yeah,
I
well,
love that whole
will,
series.
Yeah, but
he
I mean,
just-
let's put it this way: I've been in the restaurant business for a long time, or was, excuse me, and people still quote that movie every day.
oh yeah,
Dumb and
So-
Dumber?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone quotes that movie. So
Goodbye, my love. I mean, you
Yeah.
just said that not 15
Yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
ago. A quote from that movie.
I mean, there's some good throwbacks too to the original movie. There's some really funny parts. I don't want to spoil anything because I want you guys to enjoy it fresh. But Jeff Daniels aged a little bit. Aged worse than Jim Carrey did.
Okay.
But that goofy character. It plays right into it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey is,
Well, and it's supposed to be 20 years later, right?
Oh yeah, no, of
So,
course,
yeah.
absolutely.
is he great in it? Is Jim great in it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's just-
So
that's,
good.
That's his bag.
Well,
So good.
I
and I
felt-
heard an interesting, prior to seeing the movie, I listened to again the Nerdist. I think he's got some really great people that come on there. But I listened to Peter Farrelly.
Okay.
He was just on this past week, and he had explained or given some insight into like what was happening on the set between Jim and Jeff, and it was really interesting to kind of see that playing on the screen because he was remarking that Jeff plays completely to Jim, and he just gives him what he needs and lets him go.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool because you can really see it. Like, having seen the first one, obviously you can see it happening in this one, where he's just like, yeah, just give it to me, just keep going, and he just gets him going, and just is like the there's a term for it, but where you just set up the other person. I can't think of the
like a straight man. I mean, he's not quite the straight man,
right?
But yeah.
No, but kind of like that, yeah. And then Jim just fucking Jim, I'm calling him Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
like,
Jimbo.
Jim, good old Jim,
buddy
Jim.
It's just really funny. It's just really funny, and you guys will definitely love it. And there's so many quotable things like
what? Give us one right.
I can't. I really
Well,
don't
the
want
one
to.
on the trailer that cracked me up was like, Harry, that's your fruit of your loom. Yeah. Or fruit of the loom. Yeah. So he's like...
I
like the
really
one where
kind of
he's
want to
like-
give one away, but it was so... I died... I laughed so hard that I kind of don't want to
I like that
spoil
part,
it.
the one in the trailer where he's like, check out the hotties at 12 o'clock. He's like, that's 2 hours away. Why can't I look now?
Can I look now? Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's some really good ones. There's
Oh,
some
well,
really
Mike
good
gave me a face on that one. Harry has a kid in this.
Oh, no
And that's why
kidding.
he says, Harry, we got to go see her. That's the fruit of your loom. Or fruit of the loom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get
So in
it.
context, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was like, underwear jokes? Okay. But that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah,
All right.
no, it's really good, and you think like in the it starts off and you've seen the trailer obviously, and you're like,
haven't.
trailers. Oh, you haven't seen the trailer?
I haven't.
Okay, so with a lot of trailers, you're like, oh god, there's some funny stuff there. Did they give it all away? What else are they going to work with? But yeah, no, they save obviously the best stuff. And
Okay, good.
It's really
I'm
cool.
excited.
So that was really fun, and then other than that, just like gaming wise,
Yep.
I bought Advanced Warfare,
you did?
bought the new COD, and it's
Wow.
COD.
Yeah.
It's great though. I mean the like Joe was saying with some of the cinematics and stuff like that, and even just some of the in-game like the character models and stuff in-game rendered in engine are fucking unbelievable. Like it really looks well now current gen, but next gen, and like it's really cool. Like with Kevin Spacey being a major having a major role in the game.
As a voice actor?
It's him. I
It's
mean, it has
him.
his face and everything. I
Really?
mean, obviously,
It's
he's just playing a character. but-
Completely his likeness.
Wow, that's cool.
And it's kind of eerie to see like all that rendered, and it's to a point now where it's like really close to just photorealism.
Yeah.
And it's like it's funny to think like, what are they working towards? They're working towards just not seeing, like there's no like fourth wall, or I don't even know how you would say it, but it's like
It's photorealism.
I mean, yeah, but it's like you get to a point where it's there, like you could just film the actors practically almost.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's getting close.
Well, that's what they basically do, but I mean, to the point where they could film it and it will be an exact replica of what they see. I mean,
Yeah.
they're getting so close to that.
Yeah.
Because they do all the when they do
Yeah,
a lot of the voice acting,
totally.
they have all the dots
Totally.
on their face, and they,
Yeah. And it looks really cool. And then gameplay wise, I mean, it's over the top, just like you could expect. Like, but some really cool sequences. I'm only about halfway through the campaign. I played some multiplayer, but multiplayer is fucking, Call of Duty. But the campaign stuff's really fun.
Nice.
And I actually just last night I downloaded Grand Theft Auto 5. So
No, you went
this will
for
be-
it.
Yeah. I went on a binge. I'm like, fuck, I haven't bought anything in like 2 months.
Yeah,
So
it had been a long time.
I'm
for me.
really looking forward to fucking playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Not touched it at all. Didn't play it on previous gen.
You're gonna love it.
And just like the opening sequence, and then just introducing you into what is it, Los Santos?
Yeah.
It's just amazing how much detail there is in such a huge open world.
Yeah.
The
Like,
draw
he's-
distance I heard is really incredible in this
It
one.
looks amazing. It really does. And I did a little bit with the first person, stuff, just because I've never, played a Grand Theft
person.
Auto game like that.
Yeah.
Went and got a prostitute. Did that in first person.
Well, by the way, I think we spoke about this before. They do have a setting where when you get in a car, it goes to third,
Absolutely.
and then when you get out, you're in first.
you can
So that's really
customize-
great.
Oh, really?
I mean, I like that. Yeah,
you can customize those settings. Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, with
See-
those kind of games where it's like you're avoiding hitting stuff at every corner, it's really hard to drive through that stuff in first person and
Yeah.
not just wreck yourself.
Especially in the
for 5
campaign, because there's
seconds.
so much you have to do in the
Yeah.
campaign.
See, that's kind of crazy though, because as you guys know, as the three of you know, I exclusively race. in first person.
Really? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I could not do first person.
God,
Or,
I'm
third person.
always panning around like when I'm coming around a turn because I gotta know what's around.
Well,
that
what's
corner.
also tough about the single player is just getting away from the cops and stuff. So there's points where you need to look down the streets to see if it's safe or if they've turned and stuff. So there is a definite advantage. I mean, it's like, what was it, Pandora Tomorrow, where it was Mercs versus Spies. I mean, there's a definite advantage to third person.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I get it. I mean, I think it was Ridge Racer that got me into first person driving. I think it was Ridge Racer, yeah.
Great classic
that's a
arcade
throwback
racer.
right there.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously when I got to GTA, I was like, I gotta play through.
Yeah, I think that's like the only game I prefer a third person view, just because you can
that's true.
see more.
All your F1 like clips.
Oh yeah,
all,
any like actual racing game, it's all. But I'm not having to dodge pedestrians and other vehicle. Well, some, but they're racing, not crossing the street in front of me.
Right.
That game is so hilarious because it's like, it's just so absurd. Like I was just driving to a destination and I hit like 3 pedestrians on the way, and there was like blood all over the front of my car, and I just like roll up and it's like nothing.
It's
like,
whatever.
My favorite is honestly hitting motorcyclists. When you rear end them and they just fly over your car, it makes me laugh every time.
Zero.
I'll hit 3 in a row and I'll laugh each time.
Each time.
The same amount.
Yeah. It's cool.
It is, and the level design's really great.
I can't wait to play more of both games, but so
I think it'll be cool, especially since you're from the LA area, because I remember the first time playing that in a car, you're driving around, and there are certain spots, obviously it's a lot smaller geographically speaking, but when you're in the city, there's definite spots where, okay, I'm in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Or, okay, I'm in Beverly Hills. Or, oh, shit,
This is Sunset.
I'm in Orange County.
This is
Sunset
Strip.
Boulevard.
I already noticed some parts, like where when you're on PCH, you're in Santa Monica, you're on PCH, and then you make that turn up to I forget. I think it's Lincoln. Ocean.
Yeah.
You come from PCH up to Ocean. You come around that bend. There's a part in the beginning of the game that's that same fucking turn. You can just.
They do those. I feel like they take out a lot of the redundancies and they put in what you remember. Like I know that one part on Sunset where it splits between the 2 buildings.
Yeah.
That's in there. There's that little subway car, that diner.
Yep.
Or train, I guess. Is it a train?
It's a train.
Yeah, the train. So it's like anything you're like...
car.
Yeah, anything that you just would recognize right off the bat, they put that in, and anything else they just cut out to like reduce the space.
Crazy.
It's really well done.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I agree.
Yeah, so
we're doing okay on time?
Yeah, go for it. What's going on with you?
Got Zen Minuta.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes here, so I'll wrap it up real quick. Well, I think the week was already pretty much... I traveled with Joe, so I kind of lived vicariously through your week's goings on. I guess the only thing that I did exclusively while we were on the trip from New York, or to New York, masturbate. That's obviously.
Oh, that's gross. I was your roommate. All right, cool.
What was there?
He's like, no, I didn't do that exclusively.
That one part
sure.
I'm glad I
where
showered
you're
first.
listening. Where we were talking, right? We were on the car or something somewhere, and you're like, God, I cannot wait to get to the hotel room and masturbate.
Oh yes.
You said it to
I
me.
think
was
you were
like,
saying
all right.
you said I can't wait, and I said to masturbate, right? And you're like, well, yeah, that too. It was one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, the bathroom humor never gets old.
Both just sat on the same bed, looking opposite
Just
directions.
facing same direction, eye contact the whole time. Just be like, go, and we raced.
this is not weird.
We raced. We've been friends a long time.
It has been a long time. But
You're jizz comfortable?
Our second night, yeah, pretty much that cock comfortable. But no, I was. We were slated to do this company party the second night we were there. The second night actually being the last night we were there, and so I decided to go out and try and do a little sightseeing, considering that it was so insanely late and we had been out all day. So I did make it to the top of the Empire State Building. I was talking to the doorman of our hotel the night before. I did.
You went up the stairs?
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
All the way to the top?
All the way to the top. There's
wow.
there's the second. There's like super high observation deck, circular deck, and then there's a secondary deck where Meg Ryan should have been waiting for me. That kind of level.
So you didn't take the elevator up at all?
No, I took the elevator Yes.
Oh,
But
I
then
was
there's
saying
secondary
you
classes.
climb from
No.
ground level. all the
Jesus,
way.
no.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I'm like, doesn't it take like I heard it's like an hour or half hour or something like that? It's a long time.
Probably,
Yeah, no. By the time I left the hotel we were staying at, grabbed a cab over to the Empire State Building, they were literally, the guy at the front was about to hook the velvet rope onto the pole, and I'm like, wait, no! It's like, all right, fine, to the last one.
Did you dive under the?
I did. I punched him in the face.
Yeah, you slid through his legs and then kicked him in the ass, like out the door, like that type of move.
That it was awkward walking back. Walking back.
He's just rubbing
afterwards.
his ass
It
with
was
like a
just
face,
God
like,
damn
hey,
it, why?
get out of here, Matrix.
I was like, whatever. But yeah, it was cool. Just to see the view was phenomenal. There were zero clouds in the sky, so visibility was high.
What time of day was it?
No, this was 2:30,
Really late.
2:30 in the morning.
Oh shit!
Which I got to add to this story, but go
And
on.
they were just closing it down.
Yeah, I was saying the night before I talked to the doorman, and I said, I really want to try and see at least a couple of things, like Empire State Building. When does that close? And he's like, well, the viewing terrace and everything, that's open till 2 a.m.
Wow.
I said, no shit. Yeah, okay. And so I grabbed a cab and saw that, and that was cool. Took some pictures, and from where I was. I did some other quote unquote, what qualifies for sightseeing, but Hudson River's right there, Brooklyn Bridge is right there.
You saw sights from your sightseeing?
I saw a sight from my sights. And so I can go back and technically say I saw the Statue of Liberty, Times Square. We did, we obviously, Joe said the night before, we did get to see the that ball, the New Year's Eve ball. So that was cool. But all in all, fun trip. And then I got back Friday, and it was business as usual. Again, I had to be dressed and looking good. Part of my new duties that I'm kind of moving into, and my role is going on a lot of these on-sites with one of our lighting designers. And so we spent most of the day in Santa Monica, and I was just, I was dragging, man.
Oh boy! What time did you guys get back on Friday or Thursday?
I got back around 8:30
p.m.
Yeah.
Plane landed at 6. It was like 6:15, 6:20, and then we all took we parked at this place called the Parking Spot off of Sepulveda, right there next to Howard Hughes, and then from there we all had our
driven. Yeah,
carpool.
Our carpool took us
buddies.
to where their house was, and then we got in our cars to get home. So it was a long journey.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
But just to add to Mike's story, it was so funny because we were at the bar on the roof after the festivities. And we left actually pretty early. We're like, what, let's just get out of here.
It was
There
like
was a couple,
12:30.
yeah, there was a couple girls that wanted to leave, and we're like, well, we'll make sure you get home safe. So they were in our party, so we took a cab. Got home, and we got a couple beers. We're like, well, let's just watch the hockey game.
Yeah, Kings game had started. And
So-
7:30 on the West Coast meant it didn't start till 10:30.
Sure,
So
yeah.
it was well into underway. We
Yeah.
did not miss much.
So it was pretty awesome. So I'm sitting there in bed. I'm like, we're going to have an earlier night. This is great. So I'm sipping a beer, and I didn't even finish that beer. I had like 3 sips, put it down, and I fell asleep. Then I wake up, and it's Mike, and he's back, and it's like 2:30, and he's like, hey, I just got back from the Empire State Building. It was like 2:33. I was like, oh, what the hell's going on? Then this other guy walks in from our party, cracks a beer. I'm like, what is happening right now, right? So there, he has like 1 sip, says he needs to make a call. He leaves. Then all of a sudden I fall asleep. Then I wake up again. It's Mike coming in at like 5 a.m., 5:30. He's like, yeah, I met up with this guy downstairs that's in our party, and we went to a bar, and now I'm just getting back. And I'm just like... We have training in like 3 hours.
3 minutes.
Yeah. So I fell back asleep. I woke up to Mike diagonal, completely clothed with a beer in his hand, angled, like barely grasping, like could have dropped it. I took the beer out of his hand, like Indiana Jones, like, and then picked up his legs, put it in.
Replaced it with his penis.
Yeah, and then I put it, my penis. I put it in there, and I just went to town. Strong grip. But my favorite part, though, was I was like, hey, Mike, we got to get up. Do you want to take a shower? He's like, no, you go ahead. So I'm like, of course, he wants more sleep. So I'll get first masturbation privileges in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Sloppy
so
seconds.
I took a shower, and then we have like 20 minutes to get downstairs. I'm like, all right, Mike, we got 20 minutes. We should get up. And he goes, oh, okay. And he rolls over, and I'm like, no. Mike, you need to get up right now.
Yeah.
And I can tell you...
I hear you.
Like, yeah. Go fuck yourself, Joe.
No, I didn't.
No, here's the best part. even after all that, even after getting like 2 hours of sleep, 2.5 maybe, of very shitty sleep,
Yeah.
I had like 8. I had 7. I was great. This guy powered through presentations and yeah.
Well, here's a crazy part to that, and you'll remember this. Is
You got a shitload of coke.
Oh no, yeah, that would have.
Well, it's New York, right?
That would have helped. Yeah, so zero sleep had been just keeping a strong pace of the beer and alcohol intake throughout the entire the entirety of it.
You were drinking like heavily, or not heavily?
No. Dude, there's no
consistently.
way I would have gone out by myself in New York City with a cab and.
Okay, so you were just kind of like just enjoying yourself and
just
not...
enjoying. I mean, I didn't have much after I got back at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he cracked a beer and had like an inch of it because
Yeah.
I saw it in his hand.
Yeah.
It's completely full, and we still had
Tons.
of the 6.
Well, of a 6-pack, tons means we had 4.
So here's the thing. So Joe, he wakes me up. He gets me up again. He's like, okay, look, we got to get up. I hear the sense of urgency in his voice. I'm like, no, you're right. We got to get up. This is.
You are
Well,
right.
when you started rolling over, I'm like, I need to be very stern now.
Yeah, we got to do this. So I get up and I get ready to hop in the shower real quick, and I go into the bathroom and I start trying to fiddle with the not the spigot, but just the handle that would normally any other time of day turn the water on. This thing would not move. It wouldn't move at all. And I'm in there struggling. Joe comes in. He's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know how you did this, but maybe. Do you remember this?"
Well, it moved, but it didn't turn on.
It moved, but no water was coming out. And Joe's like, "I'm sorry, man. I don't know." Obviously, he had to continue.
I
to get
had
ready
no
too.
issues with it. That's why I was shocked. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, he tried it. And nothing was coming out. I was like, "Fuck. What am I gonna do?" I grabbed a washcloth. I shut the door. I turned the hot water on the sink on.
And just bird bath.
Got naked and just sponge bathed myself
Oh man.
in the bathroom.
God.
So zero
It
sleep.
was like Central Park lake
right?
shower.
in the lake hazard of the links of the back 9 of Central Park Fairway. And yeah, so I'm sitting here looking at myself in the mirror, just realizing the hilarity of this situation. Like, I'm bathing in the hotel sink right now.
And then you had
because
to take a shit.
Well, no, I didn't have to take a shit. Then finally the water worked. So I had soap all in my hair and everything all over my body. And I finally was able to jump in real quick, shower down. I got ready because I had everything pre-packed the night before.
Yeah.
So my bags were ready, clothes were out, and I got dressed, and we both made it down in time. And yeah, went to the training, made it through that. And
But you should have seen my face. Like, I was so shocked when he came in at like 5:30. I'm like, what are you doing?
Why did you do that?
What do you mean you did all these adventures? Like, I was so, it's kind of like, almost like a blackout drunk, like, what happened? What did I do? I was like, you did what?
So what all did you do?
Well, that was it. Empire State Building and then drinking, and that was it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. Well, and see, here's the thing. My plan was not to go back out after I got back from the Empire State Building.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you're back at 2:30.
so
and you're like, okay, it's time to turn in.
back. I'm coming back, and I'm downstairs talking to the doorman, and I see.
Boy, this doorman, he was.
Dude, this guy was cool.
By the way, there was no doorman.
He was
It
awesome.
was Tyler Durden.
But then all of a sudden, the elevators open, and out comes this other gentleman that we work with, and he's in sweatpants, t-shirt, jeans, jacket, and a beanie. And I mean,
Wait,
I
he has
think
sweatpants and jeans on, or he has a jean jacket on? I'm
or
so
jean
confused.
jacket. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Jean jacket, and he just swaying a little bit.
A
I'm
toupee,
like, where you
his
going,
sandals,
man? He's
he has
like,
cowboy boots on.
I'm gonna go out and see the city. I'm gonna go. I was like, well, I just got back from that, so I don't think there's too much open. And he's just like, well, I gotta go. I was like, are you sure? Yeah. And I said, all right, well, somebody's gotta
coming
make
with
sure
you.
you're safe. I'll come with you. And so it was
Hey, I want to drink too.
You
Let's
felt
go.
responsible for him.
me. Well, the last thing I wanted to do was have a conversation with someone where it's like, hey, the next morning, hey, has anybody seen so and so? And I'm like, I'm the last person to have seen him.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, what were you guys doing? Oh, he met me out in the street saying he was going to go out on an adventure, and I went up to go to sleep. Well, why didn't you? So
Did you really feel that way?
I don't
Like
know.
you felt a little bit of responsibility for him?
I did. Oh,
wow.
Just because, I mean,
It was a good excuse to drink, I think.
you think so?
No, I'm playing.
Might have been.
How was the bar?
It was I mean, there was nobody there. They were literally hanging chairs on the tables when we got in.
Oh, really?
And
What was it, Thursday? No, Wednesday.
it was
night?
Wednesday.
Yeah,
it was
Wednesday night. So
But
you're in
anyway,
New York. It's cool.
Anyway, we're in New York. Yeah, and I made it through everything. I held up my end of the bargain, and everything. No worse for the wear. No worse for the wear. So
You're a trooper.
yeah.
Definitely.
But
That's a cool story.
I appreciate the extra time that you guys have allotted me tonight to
No
to
problem.
tell those.
We actually
tales.
allotted you less.
But we are.
This is less than your
Do
usual.
we really have a
amount.
time limit, though? I mean, honestly.
we don't. We just shoot for the
How
same
many
thing.
minutes are we at?
Well, I mean, I guess just recording, we're at almost an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay.
So we've been
The last
hitting,
two
like
have been an hour and 11.
1:10, Yeah,
Hour and
1:11.
We're good.
So I guess we're right on time then.
Mike,
Great
you're
job.
fine.
Yeah, so keep
We
going.
want to hear
Yeah.
everything you have to say, Mike.
Well, luckily for everyone, that is actually reminds me of a story. No, but that's all for this week. 46 in the books, as you say, Mr. Carl.
In the hard drive.
Yeah, in the hard drive, in the books. I
In
will.
the cloud.
Yeah, be
all those
remembering-
things, actually.
remembering this fondly.
How do we get it down from the cloud?
But you have been listening to Condo Grayskull. Again, Mike Davis, Joe Friedrich, Mike Picaro, Colin Zemer. And check us out on Twitter
Aye.
and Facebook
Aye.
and YouTube.
Aye.
I think we've said all those addresses enough for everyone who listens to this to know
Podcast at
where they're at.
CondoGrayskull.com. Did we say that
Yeah,
already?
podcast at
Podcast at CondoGrayskull.com.
Send your questions in.
Send your questions in. We'd love to hear from you. And,
Trust me, if you send it in, we will answer it.
we
we
will.
will.
The operators are standing by.
Yep.
And they need to work because we're paying these
The
assholes.
dirtier and the nastier and
We're outsourcing it
the
from India.
grittier, the better.
And
Yeah.
so for the last time, if you guys remember last week, we signed off and we ended up doing an impromptu barbershop quartet kind of thing. If you guys can quickly think of something better that we can do to top that, I have zero idea.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Colin's not
All
gonna
right.
do it.
Colin's like,
all right.
Hello.
He's like a pair of hello. All right. Well,
Yeah.
and with that, I guess I'll say stay nerdy and stay dirty.
Hello.
Ah, he came along.
Boop.